My soul needed a savage friend, a weird daredevil, but do you mend? My life became a dead end. Big C got me on the wrong track. Fought the cancer in a cul-de-sac. Lean says bite back. On life's jacked racetrack we react. Lacking the cool, but we lean and we loo.
안녕하세요. 저는 루입니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 리안입니다.
I have a post-it blocking my camera so that there isn't like a ray of light that comes across from. So I'm going to try and remove it and see if the ray of light disappeared because it usually happens in the morning.
You are getting a rare view of Scottish sun, which is so rare. It only happens once every 100 years. And that is why my curtains don't meet in the middle, because we never have to draw them. Look, there is literally 2 feet of a gap between my curtains because we never have to
Don't blame
draw
the sun.
them.
Blame yourself for your inept measurement skills.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I put these curtains up because the other curtains, I couldn't close them either. And I was like, yeah, these ones will work. And this is the first time I've tried to close them and they don't fit.
That's so funny.
That is funny.
Okay, today we're going to do Save Me. I was going to do Blood, Sweat and Tears, but then I was like, then we're starting to dive into the BTS universe, which needs to be, I need to ease Lean into that slowly. So we will probably do that from next weekend. We'll do I Need You next weekend. But for now, we're going to do Save Me. Kayleen, just to give you an idea, this was filmed with a pending storm hitting BTS on the top of a mountain with lots of like lightning risk and all sorts of other things. And they had to get it filmed before the storm hit. And so they had one take to do it. And they did it in one take.
I'm imagining this is going to be epic then, because sometimes the most like rushed because of nature moments look so cool in MVs.
I know, exactly. So, and you know, it's BTS, so they're just amazing at choreography and getting it right.
Okie dokie. I have no idea what this song's about. Am I getting into it, or you just got to make me suffer through the lyrics?
I mean, the lyrics are not that deep. It's not a deep song at all, but you'll probably get the gist of it. But it's, I would say it's just about mental health, maybe.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie, you ready?
Ready. Why is those papers there? It's like messy papers. It's my scrapbook.
Why does this feel familiar?
You've probably heard it.
Wait.
Go on.
Is this song that they all take the mick out of Jimin? Because yeah, okay, so I've never actually seen the original song, but I have seen the things you've sent me when they were taking the mick out of him doing the hand movements, and so that's why this is familiar to me. As soon as I seen that there, I was like, I know what this is. So
you saw the opening hand movement he did was it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
you've sent me multiple clips of them taking the mick out of him at many live concerts.
That is it.
Explain to me. So now this is finally me seeing the original.
You sing the original song. So
okay.
Just wanna be lonely, just wanna be yours. 왜 이리 깜깜한 건지 네가 없는 이곳은 위험하잖아. 망가진 내 모습 구해줘 날. 난 돈을 잡을 수 없어. 내 심장 소리 들어봐. 잘못대로 널 부르잖아.
Can I just point out that the impending storm actually gave them such good wind and like greyness, and like it made it epic without even meaning to. Like they literally were like, quick, get this done. This storm's going to look good in this MV.
I know, it's almost like BTS was thrown into a Jane Austen clifftop movie.
It is. So. It's like, you know how normally they use wind tunnels and turbines to get wind, and it's like someone is positioning it. It's so great, and it's actual real wind.
I know they were crapping themselves because it was a pretty big storm, and they were like, they'd even had weather warnings, I think, and they were like, get this done now. I guess if you've got like equipment on top of a mountain as well, the lightning risk is big. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did we did a show during a rainstorm with lightning on the back of a big massive truck with all our microphones and equipment and everything on the back of the truck all plugged in the rain. And we're like, should we be holding these? They were not wireless mics either. They were corded mics. And we had big subwoofers and everything behind us, and we were like, do we keep singing? Like, what happens now? Yeah, I can imagine the stress of all that equipment.
oh, it's so funny.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
속에서 너는 이렇게 빛나니까 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before I fall 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before I fall 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me Sorry baby 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me Sorry baby Save me, save me
I had a wee moment of pride there when in a storm or in a field, they still went into oiled machine mode, and I had a moment thinking, I bet PD Bang just watches them like this and he feels proud of what they have become. But he watches how like perfectly in a field, in a storm, they can still stay in choreo. I even got a moment of pride, and I'm not even PD Bang.
Well, that's the thing, and I heard they struggled to dance in the like grassy, whatever, sandy stuff that they were in. So for them to get that so on point is insane. So
and being stressed about an impending, I can imagine their adrenaline was through the roof, and they were panicking a wee bit.
Yeah,
with this storm coming, and yet they still are on point, and it's the way they just jump into it, just like. They're so practiced, they're so oiled. It's just like it's a thoughtless thing. They just jump straight into oiled machine.
They do. They're amazing. Sorry, we interrupted Sugar's rap, but
yeah, I know that. It's like pausing me when Sugar started.
You can pull it back just a little, so then we can catch all his rap. So, and also, what do you think the meaning means so far?
Oh yeah, I've not been reading the lyrics. I was too busy watching.
It's hard when BTS does choreography.
Hey, storm, good dancing, wind effects. I was just very impressed with like the whole cinematic like look of this MV, and knowing there's a storm coming. I've been watching for lightning, and then I'm like, oops.
But can I just say how fun RM looks there with his jacket flowing, and he's aside from the baseball cap, he looks like a freaking storybook character. So
they all look very good, and
the little torn jeans.
They look a bit cold, to be honest.
They do. They're in their torn jeans, and you and I have lived through that, the skinny torn jeans era.
People in Utah are we not still in that era?
No.
Oh,
sorry
damn
to break it to you.
I have a wardrobe cleared out.
There's a lot of people in Utah though that walk around. There's some that make it more trendy with a slightly looser fit. But
I think Scotland hasn't lost the trend, to be honest. We're still in the grungy, dirty jeans trend too, where you look like you've crawled along the pavement for 6 hours. We're still getting them. Like Ross just bought work jeans that are literally look like I've washed them in coffee.
Well, in all fairness, I'm moving to Korea, so excuse me, I got a hiccup. I'm moving to Korea, so I'm trying to follow the Korean aesthetic, the baggy, loose jeans, which is way more comfortable than this. So.
I have all jeans. I am a jean girl. I have 2 pairs of dungarees that are so huge that I don't need to unclip them. I can just step out the side.
You need to tell me where you got them from, because every time I buy dungarees...
Amazon. I just buy them at extra, extra large and then just pull the straps as tight as they'll go.
Ooh, I might do that because I'm looking for a good pair of dungarees and I keep getting bum ones.
These ones might actually fit you, actually, because they are really long on me if I do not pull the straps really high up. I had to roll my first pair up.
Send me a link and I'll
I
go
will,
buy
and
them.
they're really cheap. They're only 15 quid.
Oh, send me a link and I'll buy them now.
I will do. They've got them in 3 colours. I've got them in the bright blue, the dark blue, but they also do them in black, I think.
Oh, I really need a pair for Korea, so. Okay.
Buy them in the biggest size, though. The biggest
I'll do that.
size. Because it's baggy enough for me, so there we go.
Okay.
Yes, that's just talking about jeans now.
Yeah.
We're so ADHD today.
You're so ADHD.
Okay, you ready? I'm going back a wee bit for my
go back a bit.
fix.
Okay.
오늘 밤 달이 빛나 내 기억 속에 빈칸 날 삼켜버린 lunatic Please save me tonight Please save me tonight Please save me tonight 잊지 어린 관계 속 나를 구원해주리 난 알았지 널 안 구원해 내 삶을 보며 아픔을 감싸줄 유일한 손길 The best of me 난 너밖에 없지 나 다시 웃을 수 있도록 더 높여줘 네 목소리 내 심장 소리 들어봐 제멋대로 널 부르잖아 까만 어둠 속에서 너는 이렇게 빛나니까 그 손을 내밀어주세요
Jimin is such a trained dancer.
He
He's so expressive dancing. You
That's
can
why they
tell
make fun of him in this because it is.
he's like not quite ballet, but kinda like he's definitely had some ballet training. But
Yeah.
what is that kind of? It's not modern dancing. What is it? There's a name for it. The type where
Contemporary.
is it contemporary dancing?
I think it's
Yeah, I think
contemporary.
it is.
Yeah.
You can tell because of all that. See, I did that for a very short stint, and well, it just wasn't for me. I'm just not that expressive a person with a like that. Just doesn't work for me. But yeah, he's so you can see it in him. He's very ballet contemporary.
He is. But I also want to add that when you see the filming for this, how complicated it is for them to get out of the way because the camera work is actually really dynamic on this. They're actually running between the members, filming between the members. So there's some members that have to move out of the way and behind and then move along. And then the cameraman, when you see the filming of this, his choreography is just as good as BTS's in this.
Well, that's something
Incredible.
Korea do the best. Korea, when it comes to camera work, it like I've watched not just like BTS, but I've watched them do variety shows. I've watched other bands that doing live gigs on stage, and Korean cameramen, man, like that is an art form, and they're on point, and the angles and the views they get just as standard for just like an everyday variety show puts the Western media to shame.
They do. And then I heard when sometimes like BTS goes and does stuff in the West, they're like, oh shit, we have to work with these cameramen now.
Exactly. It's like we make no effort. Like the camera's in front of you, the camera's to the left, and it's a fixed thing normally, or it's on a platform. You very rarely get a dude actually running around between you trying to get in.
Like, that's the thing. He has nothing stabilizing his camera. He was just literally holding this massive ass huge camera between them. So
Yujin Shi, is this the job you do? Are you this kind of cameraman? Yujin Shi. Do you do this? Because, you know, when we are having our wee Korean moment, I want to see you getting all angles for us.
Our Korean producer does this, and he's actually filmed with BTS. But he's done more studio work with BTS. So we would like. He does documentaries.
I'm going to make Eugene run around.
he's got a drone. You don't need. He's got like one of those fancy.
Look. He needs the exercise. Okay, he's getting on in years. He's a bit on like the adjacency side. I'm going to keep him fit. I'm going to make him carry a camera and run in between us. That's what's happening.
Go for it. Go bully our producer.
Bully him all the time. It's fine.
She calls him Opa because you know we have this rule between all three of us because he's our friend. So like we've got our Korean producer Yujin Shi, we've got Lean, we got Loo, right? Our rule is never ever to call anyone Opa ever. But because of that rule, because we find it cringe as white people to call people. Well, Lean's mixed race, but we find it creepy to call people over if you're not like Korean. I know it's not for some people, but we do. Okay, I just can't bring myself to do it. So, but Lean, like if I had an older brother, I would call him Opa, but a boyfriend, and we're talking about the boyfriend context. But Lean teases our producer, and she calls him Opa because she knows it's going to annoy him. So,
And when he ignores it, because sometimes he does, I call him Ajuse, because that always annoys him. Anytime he ignores me and isn't replying, I'll say, yeah, Ajuse. And then funnily enough, he always replies. Opa,
we
Opa,
torture him
Opa.
so much.
Ajuse.
We torture him so much. Poor
Eugene,
Junshi.
you actually deserve a gold medal for putting. Well, I was going to say for putting up with Lean and Loo, but that's not true. For putting up with Lean, because Lou's nice to you.
Wait till he has us in Korea.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm getting strangled. I'm getting abandoned. I'm getting left on the street. Like he's already told me all this.
He says he's going to finger flick her. That's the first thing he's going to do.
He also said he's going to leave me in the street and run away if I get lost.
Oh, okay. Continuing on. I don't know how we got there, but let's do it.
Because we're very ADHD today.
We are.
Okay.
I need your love before I fall. 그 손을 내밀어줘, save me. I need your love before I fall. 그 손을 내밀어줘, save me. Save me, baby. 그 손을 내밀어줘, save me. Save me, baby.
What have you found that is amusing? I was too busy trying to read JK's t-shirt at the back.
So if you go back a little, watch RM. He's so intense at getting this right because of the storm coming.
Oh, I did see him with his big serious expression. He looked like he was trying to fight someone. I did notice that, and I noticed how fast he was doing his hands. He just looked so mean.
You can see he's the leader and he's stressed. It was so funny though, because he's like, so like, bro, business, let's do it, let's get this right, let's do it. And now he's doing his
got the
rap thing.
very, very serious expression, like he wants to fight someone.
He's worried about his members on the hilltop with the lightning.
I also realised I was still not reading the lyrics. I was too busy trying to read JK's t-shirt.
You know
I've just given up on the lyrics. I did read like 3 lines and then I got distracted. But
you can put up the lyrics afterwards and look at the lyrics afterwards. But
to be fair, I am in a very high ADHD state today.
I am so it's because we're both having anxious times right now.
Yes, we
Lee
are.
can't get into her anxious times. I can get into my anxious times. It's all concerned with my freaking paperwork to go to Korea. So I am stressed. I'm waiting. I get news on Tuesday whether like 21st of September is a green light. So I'm very stressed.
And we're waiting on it. We are waiting on it. Like,
I mean, I'll still be moving to Korea if I have to get extra paperwork done in South Africa that might not be done in time, which means the job might fall through that I have. I might not have to get the extra paperwork done. So we will see. I'm very stressed about it.
yeah. But excuse us, because what happens when people with ADHD are stressed is they go into a high state of ADHD when we're more distracted, more go off tangent, we can't focus, we're all over the place. And as you can tell, Lean cannot stay reading text for more than 3 seconds today.
Exactly. Lean had a panic attack yesterday and
do you know what? The 2 panic attacks I've had is the first time I've had them in, I'm not even a decade. So that's how stressed we've been.
Yeah. She hasn't had panic attacks in a decade, and she had 2. And I haven't had panic attacks probably in about 5 years, and I had one a couple of days ago. So, and that's because I'm living amongst my boxes, and suddenly my job that I'm going to might not happen. And I'm like, holy crap, I've already started selling stuff off, and emptying out my house, and I signed the contract, and what the frick's going on? So, but
So bear with us, because
Bear
you're
with
probably
us.
going to get a lot more of that.
all the videos we filmed today have been like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's step back.
Apologize in advance.
Yeah, let's step back a little bit so we can catch RM's rap. There we go.
Catch his hand movements or just his rap?
Well, go back a little bit. Like, go to 2 minutes and then watch RM because it's freaking cute. Okay, here we go. Jen as well.
손을 내밀어줘 save me 내가 나게 해줬어 너에게 나게 해줬어 목이 들어 나게 해줬어 답답하도 나게 해줬어 꿈속에만 하던 날 깨워줬어.
I'm sorry to pause it again, but that little bit with Arian, they for some reason seemed more like an exercise video than a choreo for a moment. It just was suddenly not very choreo and seemed very much like Saturday morning exercise video that you're supposed to dance along.
I have to say, Save Me is a really good exercise tune too. So
I've not paused on the most flattering.
he's singing to the sky.
He's fighting with the sky more
Fighting
like.
with the sky. He's like, leave my members alone. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
뭘 생각하면 날 깨웠어 슬픔 따윈 나게 해줬어 Thank you 우리가 돼줬어 손을 내밀어줘 save me save me I need your love before I fall 손을 내밀어줘 save me save me I need your love before I fall
No.
Yes! Done. One take. Go,
I was
boys.
waiting to see lightning at least once. I watched the sky for that. See, I was more focused on the sky than lyrics for lightning. I never got to see any.
That's so funny.
I like that song. That's a
really
very upbeat, high energy. So I did recognise it though, because all the times you've sent me clips of them taking the mic out of his hand movements.
I know. It must be so fun to watch them take the mic on stage. So
That is proof that I do sometimes pay attention and retain information.
Okay, so do you want me to explain the lyrics to you since you didn't see the lyrics?
I kind of got some little
Naughty.
bits. It's about I don't know who they're referring to as the person that makes them feel better, but makes them realize that they're fine as a person. They just need to remember who they are, kind of thing. And the person's going to take them out of their own head and their depression and show them back to the light. I didn't read it all the time, but I did pick up one or two lines.
Well, that's pretty much on point. It's basically saying that you're in a bad place and you're reaching out to somebody to help you. So
Yeah,
it's like, don't keep
So you mean
it
I don't need
yourself.
to read lyrics and videos and I still get them?
You still, it's your spectrum brain. So, oh, sorry. I'm like I have really sore tummy, guys. So I'm like burping away and hiccuping away and everything. But yeah, it was definitely, it's about like not being afraid to ask for help when you're in a bad place kind of deal. So
Yeah. Yeah, I picked up on that on the one or two lines that I did actually pay attention to.
and
feel like my transparency here.
But I also feel like it also relates a lot to BTS and their troubles, because sometimes there's been times where one of the members has gone through a really bad time and has spoken about the fact that they didn't reach out to other members and they should have, and they kept it to themselves. And then sometimes there were occasions, I think, where BTS had to step in, the other members, and try and help someone who was in a really bad place. So I think Jimin and V went through some bad times, and the other members then, were there to help them, but they try to isolate themselves at first to other people, because that's sometimes what you do, so.
I liked it. It was a good song. And I feel like you definitely, what you said about being a good exercise song, I think it should go on. One of these days I will actually get back on my trampoline. It can go on that list.
Yeah, on the trampoline list. Yeah, exactly. It's
I did move it back into my house. It now is living in my hall. So that's progress.
At least it's not getting rusty outside, which is
exactly.
a good thing. So.
All I needed was him to take the bar off it so I could bring it inside, and that was it. It's out there for ages. And then who took the bar off it? I did. And I was like, well, why didn't I just do that in the beginning?
That's so funny. I haven't exercised in 2 weeks and I feel bad, but it's just been a lot. So.
Oh, I do enough exercise. I go outside and dig gardens and stuff. I don't care.
I think moving boxes qualifies as exercise.
I think moving to Korea qualifies as a very big exercise.
It does. For sure.
You don't need to exercise when you're under so much stress that you sweat like 10 pounds a day.
You know, guys, I'm a little list person. So I have a list of things I do every day that I schedule.
Oh,
And
trust
it's
me, she's the list person. I've seen her notice board and her post-its.
So I start my day. I used to when my routine's calm, I start the day with Korean learning at 5 a.m. and then I do that till 6:30, and then I do exercise from like 6:30 till like 8, and then from 8 I get ready, and then I start my work day job at 9 because it's Californian time, so I get an extra hour in the morning. So and then I do my day job, and then in the afternoons I do some other studying and I do art and all the stuff. But I've been trying to do that while I've been dealing with this. It does not work. It does not work. Your brain goes, screw you, lady. There ain't no Korean learning happening today. There ain't nothing happening except staring at a wall when you're not packing. It's overwhelming. So.
It sounds like your brain is telling you there's only so much you can do. And this time I need to zone out while you are packing. Otherwise, I may self-combust and have a massive failure. And we won't make it to Korea because I'll be in a vegetative state.
Exactly. It's so funny. It was so funny. I even tried to play Pumsla and learn Korean in the background while I was busy packing, getting ready. But my brain was like, no, I can't even. I'm not listening to that. So
You're doing so much, girly. You just need to focus on one task. And that one task is moving to Korea so Lean can go to Daiso. That's it. Then you can learn Korean, okay?
yeah, exactly. We need to see where the nearest Daiso is to me when I move there.
Don't worry. By the time I come to visit, I'll have a map and a route planned and everything. I'll know the bus numbers, the time, and which stop they go. You'll be like, you've never been to Korea. Oh, trust me.
Yeah.
I could get to Daiso blindfolded.
It's so funny. Alrighty, guys. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. What did you think, Lean? You're on your exercise list?
My trampoline exercise. You know what? What is it? JK's list has been invaded today. I feel like it kind of belongs on the JK list, which is now the JK Jimin list. So what's it going to be called now?
It's going to be called the BTS Fun List.
But what if I add people that are not BTS to that list?
Okay. Call it your Borahei list. Your Borahei list.
Maybe. Or just put Lean in a good mood list.
Yeah, good mood busters.
Mood busters, yeah.
Mood busters.
That's what that list can be called, because it was the JK list. It was a very long JK list of all JK's solo songs that I like very much so, and his collaborations. And then today I ruined it and I put Jimin on it.
Yeah. And now you're going to add this
BTS, so whatever.
Yeah, call it your mood busters list.
Exactly, it's now the mood buster list. So it's my list. I can do what I want. I'm sorry, JK. I know it was like a personal thing we had, and you were just whatever.
You betrayed him.
I'm not that loyal, so.
And guys, what songs are you listening to this week? Doesn't have to be BTS. Let us know what your favorite songs are this week, and we will check them out and maybe react. Well, we can't check them out and react to them, but like if we feel like it doesn't work, how do we do that? If you recommend some songs for us to react to, we'll be very careful.
We will listen to 5 seconds, and if we think I want to listen to more of that, then we will react to them. But if we listen to 5 seconds, see, I have the rule of 5 seconds because I'm so ADHD. I have a 5-second rule to anything. 5 seconds of a drama, 5 seconds of a book, 5 seconds. If you are not grabbed in 5 seconds, because trust me, you get a lot of input in 5 seconds, then I discard. That's how I've always lived my life. If I taste something and in 5 seconds I don't think I want to eat more of this, that just gets left.
We'll give it to the judge, jury, and executioner of 5 seconds there.
Yeah, remember I did that with a whole bunch of 1OK Rock songs just to be sure we were going to like them. I listened to 5 seconds, like 25 songs. You're like, stop listening to them.
And I was like so mad with her. I was like, stop it.
And I'm like, 5 seconds is not a rule breaker.
She's so naughty. How does she end up being a reactor? That's what I want to know.
I'd end up being the friend of somebody who's such a rule follower.
I am such a rule follower. That's why I'm the angel and you're the devil. So,
Okay, we will catch you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye, annyeong.
Annyeong. You did a good job, Leanie.
Please don't.
Hey, fan bears. So fluffy.
What
so
is
cute.
actually wrong with
ready?
you? You're
Dance
such
it
a
is.
freak.
System failure.
Lean, 사랑해.
Ew.